Okay, so we're finally on day 2. Wow. It was like almost 2.5 hours just for day 1. So this is day 2. So day 2 was we started off with Shibuya, and our goal today was we had tickets to go to the Tales of 30th Anniversary Museum, which was also in Shibuya. So we came here, and this ended up being a day where we spent a lot of it walking. It was very tiring. We spent a lot of it walking and shopping. That's the topic of day 2 was walk and shop. So we got to Shibuya. There were a lot more people there compared to where we've been before. There were a lot more tourists. You can tell because they're taking photos of everything. We went to the giant crosswalk. Everyone was taking pictures of it or taking selfies or videos of them crossing by. We didn't really do that because there were just so many people. We passed by a Tokyo food show area, which was like a little farmer's market with a bunch of pastries and stuff like that too. So I took a bunch of pictures. We didn't buy anything because we were on our way to brunch, so I didn't want to fill up on this stuff. But there were so many cool things in here, just like a bunch of cute little baked goods everywhere we went. Chocolates, pastries, waffles, cakes. It was beautiful. I love these kinds of areas. It's a bit of a shame we didn't stop and actually get to eat, but again, we were on our way to lunch, so I didn't want to affect my appetite. But like everything's so cute here. Everything's so beautiful in Japan and cute and little and eye-catching. Oh, we also stopped by a Daiso, and so it was funny because we stopped by because Kieran wanted to pick something up, and I think the way we encountered it was a pretty big Daiso, and it was a bit different than the ones I'd seen in California, and so it was funny because we all went into the Daiso and split up, and we all had completely different tasks that were so in character for us. So Kieran was off looking for Oshikatsu stuff, which I'll explain in a second. Lork was looking for like souvenirs, both for himself and for friends. And then I was looking for like practical items to make our Airbnb better because our Airbnb was so cramped and it had amenities, but there were things that was missing. So I was looking for things to help make our stay a little bit better. So I was looking for practical things. Lork was looking for souvenirs, and then Kieran was looking for Oshikatsu stuff. So there was like an entire section for Oshikatsu, and I was kind of unfamiliar with the fact that they have these, but it was kind of cool. So basically, Oshikatsu is like stuff you can do for all your fan merch. So here there's like fans that you can decorate with your favorite character or idol's faces. There's like little Ita bags, there's like photo cards, there's things you can decorate them with. Like it's a whole thing, and I know this is a thing. I just didn't expect there to be an entire section for just this kind of stuff, which is kind of cool. There were these like stands you could put your acrylic stands on. If you have multiple acrylic stands, you can get like one thing with a bunch of slots on it and make your own little like diorama or whatever, which is kind of cool. So our goal was we wanted to go get fluffy Japanese pancakes, and Kieran had been to this place before, so he recommended it, and so we were going to find it. And I've had Japanese pancakes before, but the place I usually went to closed down a while ago, a few years ago. So I haven't had this in a while. And so I was looking forward to it because it had been a while since I've had Japanese pancakes. If you don't know what a Japanese pancake is, it's a lot thicker and fluffier. It's almost cake-like. They're really good. They're really good. Oh yeah, Daiso was the first time we saw the lack of Kuropi injustice. Everywhere we went, and last time I was in California, it was the same thing. Like everywhere we see Sanrio stuff, like Kuropi has like the least amount of merch. They've kind of kicked him out. He's not popular enough. Anything that's green is now Pachako instead of Kuropi, which is an injustice. So every time we saw Kuropi, it was very exciting for us. So the place we went to was very quaint. It was like on the, I want to say, fourth or fifth floor of this apartment building, and it didn't even look like a restaurant. There was like a sign at the bottom, and you had to take like a very tight stairwell that was on the outside of the building, almost like a fire escape stairwell to get up to the fourth or fifth floor. And then there was just a tiny little door with a small entrance area, and it was just like, bam, you're in the cafe. And there were a lot of people waiting to go inside, mostly foreigners. I feel like this place is probably like well known to be foreigner friendly or like happily revealed by foreigners. So there were a lot of foreigners standing around, and the place had just opened like an hour or 30 minutes ago or something like that. So, but there were a lot of people. Maybe not like a lot of people, but because the stairwell and the area was so cramped, it felt like there were a lot of people. And then at the front of the entrance, there wasn't even really a reception, but there was just a piece of paper where you could write down your name and how many people are in your party. And this was a common thing we saw in a lot of places in Japan where you go and there's a lineup. There's oftentimes no like host or hostess at the front. There's just a clipboard with a piece of paper. You put your name down, number of people, and you just wait around until they will come out. If there's a table, they'll look at the list, see who can fill in the next table and call out your name. So We did that. We were waiting around. I was actually thinking about how like there was like a little elevator, but again, like the hallway was super tight at the beginning of the cafe. And I was also wondering like how did they get all their deliveries up here? Is this the only way up? There must be like a back entrance or something like that because there's no way because they must get a lot of deliveries. And lo and behold, the elevator opens up. Again, random twist of fate and chance. And these two guys come in with a cart full of like milk and eggs and butter and stuff like that too. And they have to get through. And there's quite a few people there in that tight hallway, so they're trying to maneuver. And these poor guys like carrying these things and like lifting them off the cart and going into the cafe. And I think they do it like a couple times with a couple different deliveries to get all that stuff up there. So we wait around for a bit. It's not too bad actually of a wait. We kind of expected there to be a bit of a wait too. I don't remember how long we waited. It was under it. I think it was like maybe 45 minutes or something like that. And we finally get in, and inside it's also a low ceiling too. So I didn't have this problem, but Lork is quite tall, and he had the problem of hitting his head on a lot of things when we were in Japan. Like our Airbnb had a low ceiling. There were like little between the rooms of the Airbnb, there was like a little ridge. He would hit his head on like the chandelier. He would hit his head on like the entrance of the train, the handles on the inside of the train. So he had to train himself to duck everywhere he went and try to beat his record of not getting hit on the head everywhere he went. So props to you, Lurk. But the place here was low ceiling. But for me, that's okay. So we went in and we sat down, and I was very excited to get some pancakes. Also, you can see here in the chair on the far right, like a lot of the restaurants have little baskets on the chairs where you can put your belongings and stuff like too, which is really nice. I wish more places in America did that. You know, as much as I am fine with putting my coat over the backrest of a chair, sometimes it's nice to have a little like basket where you can put your stuff in. But I guess in America, a lot of times they expect you to have a car, so you put your stuff in your car. But I liked having that, especially because again, we were travelers using public transit, so it was nice to everywhere we stopped had baskets where you could put our stuff in. Okay, here's a close-up of the basket here, and they fit really nicely under the chairs. Of course, in Japan, you have to make the most of all your little space too, right? So here's my pancake. I got the tiramisu ones. I think we all got the tiramisu ones, and it came with like a coffee sauce that you poured over top of like a creamer, and it came with chocolate sauce and mascarpone and whipped cream and dusted sugar. It was very good. And I also I think I got banana milk here. I think it was banana milk. It was okay banana milk, but the pancake was definitely the highlight. It was nice. So we had a nice little brunch, and we got ready to set out for the rest of our day in Shibuya. Oh yeah, as we were leaving, we also saw people driving these like like Mario carts. They weren't Mario branded carts, but they were like go-karts on the streets, and they had like a URL on them on the place where you can go and I guess rent them. They weren't wearing helmets or anything. I don't know the logistics of this. Of course, we weren't going to do it, but we saw them a few times as well, and I think we saw a lot of giant trucks advertising things. Oh yeah, the restaurant we went to had a hidden bookcase bathroom. I have a picture of it, but I didn't want to show it because it has a lot of people in the picture, so I'd have to like blur everyone's faces and you wouldn't get it. But basically, there was like a bookcase at the end of the room, and over one of them said toilets, and I thought it was a sign pointing to the side, but it was actually like telling you that the bookshelf was a door and there was the washroom behind the door. And then there was also like a private function room on the side, which was also a bookcase door, but that door was open because there was a group in there, so you can see that they opened. Okay, so yeah, we're walking around Shibuya, and our goal was to make it to the Nintendo store. So the Nintendo store is on like the 6th floor of a mall, and it was so packed. Like the rest of the mall was fine. You go up and then you reach like the 6th floor, and there were people everywhere swarming around. It was very, very busy. And so there's a lot of stuff on this floor, which I'll go over in a second. But we stopped by the Nintendo store first. There's also like a TCG thing going on one side of the floor. So there were like a lot of people there playing, I think it was Pokemon TCG. And then so we got to the Nintendo store. It was so packed. There were so many people. This picture doesn't do it justice. It was more packed than this. But I tried to get like a sense of scale on how many people there were. But there were a lot of cool things. So we have like the giant Link statue. There's like Isabelle and Timmy and Tommy Nook. They had a lot of really cool merch. The Zelda merch was really cool. They had like Koroks and little like books and blankets and stuff. There was a Splatoon frying pan. More Koroks. There was like a whole bunch of Pikmin things as well. But yeah, it was so hard to move around in the store. There were people everywhere. It was like almost shoulder to shoulder. It was incredible. A lot of Animal Crossing stuff. There was like Animal Crossing kettles and water bottles and plushies. They were really cute. There was a giant Mario. There was a giant like Splatoon statue. Oh, these were cute. They were like Metroid ice trays, so you can make like Metroid shaped ice cubes. And then there were these keychains that had like the item boxes from Mario Kart. Those are really cute too. Better picture of the Link statue, and then there was a big screen where they were like playing ads and showing off the Nintendo artworks. Fun fact: I actually know the artist who drew the giant Smash Bros. Everyone is here spread. I haven't talked to them in a long time, but we were friends back in the day, and they're super cool. So I'm really happy to see them take off with that. Yeah, there's so much stuff in this shop. There's so many people. I didn't buy anything for myself here, but I bought a couple things for a couple friends. And so the bags are random too. So I got a Link bag. I think Kieran got a Link bag. Lork got a Pikmin bag. The receipts are randomized as well. I got a Legend of Zelda print on the back of my receipt, but I think Kieran and Lork, one of them got like a Pikmin one of them got a Mario one, or something like that. So that was pretty cool. And also, if you had your Nintendo account on your phone, your Nintendo companion app, you got like a special randomized sticker or something like that. I couldn't link it because again I didn't have Wi-Fi, so I didn't do that, but whatever. Now the thing is, this floor is so packed because on the same floor is also like the Capcom store, the Sega store, the Pokemon store, there's like a JoJo store, there was like another pop-up store. There were so many things on this one floor. Like every other floor in the mall was like normal traffic for a mall, but this floor was insane. So across the street is the Capcom store, and the Capcom store, to my surprise, is really small. Like there's a lot of stuff in it, but the Capcom store itself was very small. So there were so many people in such a small space. Luckily for us, like a third of the Capcom store is just Monster Hunter. So we were not Monster Hunter people, so we didn't have to go to that part of the store. I took some pictures, but yeah, like a third of the store is just Monster Hunter. There's a giant Ryu statue here at the front. It was hard to get a picture of it. There were constantly people walking by. I saw these at the front. There was like a Mataratsu and like a Rathlos giant pillow plush. They were really cute. It's nice to see a Mataratsu merch. We saw, of course, the Ace Attorney stuff. Ryunosuke and Kazuma here. They have a bunch of like little Tsum Tsums. Kieran got the Edgeworth and the Phoenix one. It's funny because they're literally attached together. This is not... I thought they were like Velcro together so you can take them apart. No, it's the two of them together. The other one's like Virgil and Dante as well. Like they come as a pack and they are permanently stuck together. The Edgeworth is permanently on top of the Phoenix one. You cannot switch their order. You cannot separate them. They are stuck like that. So Kieran got one of that and it was hanging from his bag for the rest of the trip. Very cute. This was interesting. I found some like Street Fighter standees, but they were with characters I didn't recognize. And I think from what I gathered, I think these are esports players. So it has like esports players or their avatars dressed up or accompanied by whichever character they main, which I thought was really cool that they have that. I don't follow like Street Fighter esports or anything like that, but I thought that was really cool because I was like, who's this character? I know they're with a Street Fighter character, but I couldn't tell who they are. So I concluded they are like esport players or maybe VTubers. I don't know. But I thought that was kind of neat. That'd be cool one day to have like, I don't know, Kiro merch with Luke or something like that. The Ace Attorney section, there was an entire... It was basically like one rack on four sides, but there was an entire one side that was just Edgeworth stuff. Plus they had the Ryu sweater and the Ryu cloth. They had like little sprites of the Edgeworth from Investigations. Kieran got this too. I don't think I have a good picture of it, but there's like a pencil case. And the zipper is the Edgeworth running sprite. So when you open and close it, when you zip it, it's Edgeworth running across your thing. There's a Phoenix like toiletries set with like perfume and like other toiletries in a little bag, which was pretty cute too. You know, what the funny thing about Capcom to me is that like they know how to make their merch and they know how to advertise in, well, Japan mostly, not so much, maybe not so much in America as much for merch, but they have so much merch for all these properties of theirs, but a lot of these properties have not received a new entry in a very long time. Like there was like Ace Attorney merch everywhere. Where's our next Ace Attorney game, huh? There was Basara merch everywhere. Like I thought you guys forgot what Basara was. Like it's actually kind of crazy. Of course, obviously the Street Fighter, the Monster Hunter stuff, Resident Evil is all like at the forefront and still producing stuff regularly. But they have a lot of merch for a lot of these series because they know people buy them in Japan. But it's like where are our games? Like they have a lot of Okami stuff too, and it's like I thought that you guys kind of stopped doing Okami. They had an entire wall of just like Tsum Tsums as well. A lot of Ace Attorney ones, a lot of Street Fighter ones. There was quite a bit of great Ace Attorney stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. There was these very nice framed pictures of the artwork, as well as the standees. There was like a little Basara section, which I was very happy to see that it even existed. Although the merch wasn't really exciting. It was just like stickers of the characters' heads. And then like the Let's Party, I don't even know what that is, like a file folder or something like that, and some stickers. Nothing really exciting, nothing like super cool artwork wise, but I was like, okay, they remember what Basara is. That's good, I guess. I'll take it, I guess. These were really cool. They were like special Resident Evil bookmarks with like a really fancy artwork of Leon and Chris as well. They were so well drawn. There was like umbrella report pads and pencils and stuff. There was like room fragrance bottles and like tablet candy in like little medicine pills for Resident Evil. I thought that was very cool merchandise and very cool marketing stuff for them. Well, these were cool. They had like Street Fighter artwork drawn in like the Okami style, which we will see again later when I talk about Capcom Museum. Here, they didn't have like the whole set. I realized they actually have a lot more than this, but these were the ones they had as well. But I thought they were really cool to see them drawn in the style. These are some pictures of the Monster Hunter section. Again, we didn't hang around in that section too much. It was like a third of the store. There was a lot of stuff. But again, the store was small, cramped, a lot of people, so we didn't want to hang around too much, but I thought these were cute. My haul. So I bought the two greatest attorney standees for Ryunosuke and Kazuma. They look really good. I've always wanted a standee for Ryunosuke and Kazuma because I really like them, but I didn't want to buy them online because they're expensive, and I'm glad I got these ones because I really like these outfits of them as well. So if I had to own one Great Ace Attorney standee of each of them, this was a really good one. I saw these and I just had to get them. I don't even play Street Fighter that much, but I want to get better at it. But I just saw this and I was like, wow, this artwork's really nice. So I got these like little like stickers of Luke, Ed, and Bosch. I was very surprised to see Bosch merch because Bosch is not technically a playable character, so I was really surprised to see even him getting merch at all, which is why I was like, well, I gotta get this. And if I get Luke and Bosch, I guess I should get Ed too. So I was very surprised that they even had this stuff. So, and it's nice artwork, and they're just flat stickers, so they didn't take up much space in my luggage. So I was like, yeah, sure, why don't we do it? I also saw this T-shirt and I was hesitant about getting it, but I was like, you know what? Sure. I have another Street Fighter shirt, the one from Uniqlo with Luke on it as well. And like Luke is one of my favorite characters from Street Fighter now that, we have Street Fighter 6. And I think as far as shirts go, it's pretty nice. It's not like super otaku-y, because again, I don't like being like an open otaku a lot of times. I'll be a closet otaku. So I think this one's pretty cool. There's also a keychain with the same art, but he's with Jamie, so I got the keychain to go along with it. This is the bag that came along with my purchase. They sealed it with a little washi tape, and the washi tape has little pixel sprites of a bunch of Capcom characters. So depending on where they cut it, you get different characters on your washi tape. I don't remember who's on mine, but I thought that was pretty cool. So again, like you have this like the bag, and you have like freaking Arthur on the front here. It's like when was his last game? Mataratsu, right? There's like a character from some like dating romance visual novel that was popular in Japan for a little bit from Capcom. I don't even remember what it was called. Of course, there's like Phoenix right there and Masamune as well. When was their last game? And of course, Rathalos is the overarching one there. There was a jump shop. We had a look inside. Again, it was small, very crowded. I'm not a big jump fan, so I didn't feel the need to buy anything, but it was cool. There was a giant Luffy. There was a height chart of One Piece characters. There was a bunch of artwork from famous mangaka framed up on the wall, so that was kind of cool. I was very surprised to see a lot of Reborn stuff. I know they're like getting their reboot or whatever, but I was just surprised to see how much there was because Reborn's been kind of quiet for a while. I used to be really big into Reborn, so I was happy to at least see it, but I did not feel the need to buy it. But it was cool seeing the characters in these like special outfits. Also, there was like Fran in the corner there with his frog head. Next was the Pokemon Center. Man, the Pokemon Center was wild. There were so many people. If the Nintendo store was crowded, if the Capcom store was crowded, the Pokemon Center was beyond crowded. It was so insane. We got in, and we were lucky to get in because afterwards there was like a line to get in. There was a line to get to the register, which went all the way around the store. There was a line to exit the store, and I was mostly surprised by the gall of some people. There were quite a few people in there with like giant ass strollers. And I get it, like being a parent, you got to bring your kid around and you need to have all your stuff for them. But they were like people with giant strollers, and every time they had to go anywhere, like everyone had to part for them. It was crazy. So there's multiple Pokemon centers in Tokyo. We visited, I think, 4 of them. But this was the first one we went to. This one has the Mewtwo in the front, which is pretty cool. He's in his test tube, and there's like colors changing in the background. Each Pokemon center kind of has like their signature legendary in front of the store. So this one's like the Mewtwo one. I think this one was the biggest one, but it was just so crowded. There were so many people everywhere. It was so hard to move. You were shoulder to shoulder everywhere you went. It was hot. It was warm. It was not too stinky, but it was a time. I tried to take pictures of some cool things I found, but it was kind of hard with so many people. So here's some highlights I found. Every Pokemon Center had a lot of plushies lining the walls, and so if you're lucky, they would have your favorite Pokemon. But they didn't have everything. But every Pokemon Center had different things. But also because the line like snaked around the entire place, so a lot of times the line would block the plushie shelves. So they had to eventually like move the line, but it was really hard to shift all those people around. So it was like crazy. So I thought if you're an Eevee fan, you were probably eating really well. There's a lot of Eevee stuff. I was surprised to see the giant like melodic plushies. They were really long, but they look so elegant. Oh, these were cute. They were like gummy like Reuniclus things. I can't remember if Kieran eventually bought one of these. I think he thought about it. There was a Pokemon design lab where you can like design your own t-shirts and stuff. There was like there's ads for Legends ZA everywhere. These Ditto puzzles were so cute, so funny. I saw the Ditto puzzle online before we went because I think it's new merch. They're just so funny. You can like place them in different arrangements and stuff like that too. A lot of these like blind box sets, which they were really cool, but again, I don't want to get blind boxes. The Greninja one was super cool. I really kind of wanted that one, but I didn't want to play blind box gacha for these things. I like that there was an entire set for Ghost Pokemon. That was pretty cool. Ghost Pokemon are super cool. But again, they're all blind boxes. They're all blind boxes. Everything's blind box. But I like the dioramas. They were cool. Oh, here's some more of them. It's the Lucario one as well. There's a Mega Lucario one. More plushies. Some of them were so goofy. Like Deoxys looks so goofy. Throw and Sock looks so goofy. The Poliwag, Whirl, Wrath trio. So cute. So cute. I found Greninja. I already own a Greninja plush, so luckily I didn't have to buy one. I find that Pokemon plushes work well when they're like cute little Pokemon, but like for Pokemon that are more humanoid, like Greninja, Lucario, I don't know. Their plushies are just they just don't really work as well, in my opinion. They're weird shaped. They're weird shaped. They're a little stiff too. Also, I'm not really a plushie person, and especially because like the quality of the plush, like there's a type of plushies where if you run your hand over it, like you can see the handprint you make. I'm not really a fan of that, but they were cool. If you find your favorite Pokemon, a lot of the popular ones have plushies. Not every Pokemon had a plush. Kieran was looking so hard for a Trubbish because he's really grown attached to Trubbish. We found Garbodor stuff everywhere, but we couldn't find Trubbish. Kieran even asked, he couldn't find a Hawlucha, and he wanted a Hawlucha to bring to DDT, and so he had to ask an employee he had to like figure out what Hawlucha's Japanese name was, and then ask him in Japanese if they had Hawlucha. And then the poor guy, they were so busy. He was running around trying to help Kieran. He was like helping other people every 5 seconds, like along the way, while he ran around the store looking for halucha. And eventually, he had to go into the back and find a halucha from the back and bring it out. And so Kieran's like, "Well, I have to buy this now." And while we were waiting, I was waiting with Kieran in like a corner of the store that was a little bit less crowded. And this lady came up to us because she heard us talking English, I guess. And so she asked Kieran how to get out of the store and where to line up to buy stuff. And then we showed her like, oh, the line's there. And she's like, oh, that's so long. Well, how do I get out? And we're like, oh, there's a line to get out. It's over there. So we showed her, and then she's like, oh, okay, thank you. You do work here, right? And we're like, no, we don't work here. I don't know why. We're definitely not dressed like the employees there, but I guess she thought we worked there because we were just standing around. So we helped direct her out. And then so I found this Tangela like hairband was really funny, so I took a picture of it. I also love how my two favorite Pokemon, Greninja and Lucario, you know, they're obviously like very popular. So a lot of times I found their merch together. Now, the line was so long, and I didn't really want to buy stuff. I didn't really have stuff I want to buy for myself. I had stuff that I want to buy for friends. But Lork was already in line. He was a trooper. He was already in line. He was like halfway through, but the line was so long. So he was like, if you want anything, you can just hand it to me in line, and I'll just wait for you in line. So he was awesome. So I bought a couple things for some friends and handed them to him. And then Kieran bought a couple things to hand them to him. So he was standing in line with like a whole bunch of stuff. I asked him if he wanted help carrying it. He's like, no, I'm good. So we didn't want to wait in the shop because it was just so crowded. So we had to like, me and Kieran had to like line up to get out. I left first because Kieran had to wait for the halucha guy. And so as I was going out, I had to like enter a line to get out. And then there was a line to go into the Pokemon Center, which was snaking around, and there were like people outside directing them. And then there was a line to go to the cash register, and the line to the cash register was so long, it was coming out of the store. The line for the cash register was going out the store, out into like a side hallway to like an emergency stairwell. And so they had like Pokemon Center employees like directing people there. And then of course that means people were exiting the store with items that were unpurchased because they were waiting in line to buy them. So there was an employee like watching them to make sure. But I think in general, more people are generally pretty good in Japan about following the rules. But it was still like there was like a guy like standing there like watching people, and they were like, there was like a break in the line too because they had to let people through the hallway. So there was like a discontinuous line, people buying. It was crazy. It was so packed there. It was crazy. It was like 2 days before New Year's, so it was so busy. Pokemon Center, that was the craziest one we went to. Again, we went to the other ones later, so those ones were less crowded, and I felt better about actually buying stuff at those ones. But here, it was just, yeah, I wasn't going to buy stuff if it wasn't for Lork standing in line, so Lork is, again, the hero of the day, yet again. Oh yeah, I was surprised they didn't have that much, like, trainer merch. They had, like, these stickers and, like, a couple keychains, but they didn't have much merch for trainer stuff. It was mostly all just Pokemon stuff. I was also surprised there weren't too many like Mega Evolution things. There were only a few, considering they're pushing Legend ZA everywhere. Oh yeah, there was also this Pokemon kettle, which is Pokeball kettle. It was pretty cute. Oh yeah, like a Rotom lamp, and then there was like a Zoetrope with I think Girafarig on it. So we wait around, and then finally Lork exits with his purchase. Thank you, Lork. So we decided to go to the Sega store, which is just down the hallway. And Sega owns like Atlas stuff too now, right? So they had a lot of Persona stuff. So we go, and there's these like derpy bears at the front that are like decorated like Sonic. There's Joker. There's Kiryu. There's Eggman as these bears. They look so derpy. They were so funny. The Persona wall had a lot of stuff, of course. I was mostly just here for the Atlas stuff. Sega stuff, I'm not really like a big fan of, like Sonic and stuff like that too. If you wanted, you could buy like an Evoker, and it came in this like fancy briefcase, and you got like an armband and this fancy box and stuff. You had to ask the staff member to go buy it because it was locked up. I actually own an Evoker already. I have a water gun Evoker from like back in the day that I ordered like 15 years ago online, which I never used, which was I thought it was just a fun novelty item. But this is pretty cool. They also had like Rhino stuff. They had Metaphor stuff. They seem to be really trying to push the Rhino stuff, which Kieran was happy to see. There was a lot of Jack Frost merch. The Jack Frost merch was mixed in with the Rhino stuff because there wasn't that much Rhino merch, but there was a lot of Jack Frost stuff, which was cute. They had merch of the tooth guys from Metaphor. I had to take a picture of that. The little tooth enemies, I thought they were so funny. They had Yakuza stuff as well. There's like a picture of these plushies in the little like ramen bowl. It was sort of cute. But Yakuza is a series that I've always wanted to get into, but there's just so many of the games I don't have time. I haven't taken the first step. I do want to get into it eventually because I know it's going to be something I enjoy. But they had a lot of Yakuza merch, which was kind of cool. They had all the Persona acrylic standees from Persona 3, both in the regular artwork of the characters and the battle artwork of the characters, all on display. They had like Persona playing cards. They had these like Sonic plushies behind the cash register, which was really cute. So I caved and bought the Akihiko standees from Persona. They just looked really good. I wasn't gonna buy them. I'm an Akihiko fan, but I didn't think I would be a fan to the point that I would buy merch of him. But I was like, I'm here. Where am I gonna see this again without having to pay a bunch? And then Kieran whispered in my ear, he's like, buy it. You know, you never know when you're gonna come back and when you're gonna get the chance. And I was like, fine. They're acrylic standees, so they're flat. They're easy to store. So I caved and I got them. They look really good. You'll see the running theme here is the most merch I got this trip was just acrylic standees. I ended up having so many acrylic standees. My backpack was just bursting with acrylic standees. I think acrylic standees are the perfect combination of merch, right? Because I'm not really a print person. Prints are big, hard to package away in your luggage without bending them by accident. I don't really put them on my wall. I don't really have space for them. Postcard prints are nice, I guess. I'm not really a plushie person. They also take up a lot of space, right? But acrylic standees are the perfect combination. They're like flat pieces of artwork, but you can stand them up. They're sturdy, they're durable, they look nice. So acrylic standees, most of the type of merch I got were acrylic standees. My new weakness is acrylic standees. There was also a JoJo store. We didn't go into it because we weren't really JoJo fans. Also, again, there were so many people everywhere that we just couldn't get there, so didn't go to the JoJo store. So finally, we left that floor. There were so many things on that floor, and went back to the regular mall. On our way down, we saw this Radio Ava store, which was like a clothing store with like a collaboration with Ava. It's like a pop-up. It was kind of cool. Lork went inside because he wanted to get some stuff, so we went inside and looked around. They had some cool stuff. They had some cool, again, acrylic standees of Ava stuff. And most of it was clothing, but it was kind of cool. I ended up getting one Ava acrylic standee. It's a keychain that also doubles as an acrylic standee. Not for myself. I actually got this for someone else. So you guys know that I go to a Japanese cafe, a local Japanese cafe. It's one of my favorite restaurants. One of the only places where I can get like really good, authentic Japanese food without having to go too far. It's also like near my workplace and house. Not like near, but it's like on the way and it's not out of my way to get to. So I've been going there for like a few years now. I go there like almost once a week, not always. So I become friends with the owner there, and he like gives me free stuff and we chit chat. And I like sometimes he'll give me like dishes to test out, and sometimes like there's like hidden menu items that I can order that only like I can order because they used to be menu items that they discontinued them, but he said he'll make them for me. So they're always really nice to me. Sometimes they give me Christmas presents too. Like they gave me like a custom boba straw one year, like a metal boba straw with their shop's print on it and stuff like that too. So I wanted to get him something, right? But I don't really know him that well. And so he has a shelf full of anime figures, like retro anime figures. So he has like Evangelion, Godzilla, Akira, Astro Boy. So I wanted to get him something, but I wasn't really sure what. So when I saw this, I was like, wait, this is perfect because they were celebrating Evangelion's 30th anniversary. And so this is like a special acrylic. It was also, again, acrylic, which means easy to store, flat, but you can put it on display. It's not like a figure or something like that. So I got it for him and I gave it to him today as well. And he was so happy. He was like really happy with it. He put it on his shelf immediately. And then I saw him and his wife like took pictures of it. And then I went home and then I checked their shops or their cafe's social media and they posted the picture on their social media. Didn't mention me by name or anything like that, but it was just so sweet. And I felt a little embarrassed, but I had to get him this. So I felt really good about that as well. Hey Kieran, welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you guys are all doing well. Please go check out my best friend, Atelier Kieran. Again, super cool streamer and professional voice actor. You'll recognize his voice from games like Fire Emblem Heroes or Seven Deadly Sins, like anime like that, or Sanda as well. He's super cool. And also, he was on the strip with me. So go say hi to him and follow him on all social media. Hope you guys had fun playing Jackbox today. Welcome in. Ninten Haku, welcome in. Evan, hello, Alan. It's good to see you. Kay, hello, and Adam, welcome in. I'm talking about our trip to Japan from last week. We are currently still on day 2. I'm only talking about stuff that we did on day 2. Dang. So we're going through our time in Shibuya, so feel free to sit back and relax. Or go take care of yourself after your stream. I appreciate you being here. Okay, so after we finished doing all that shopping, it's time to do what we actually came here to do this day, was to find the Tales of 30th Anniversary Museum. So it's Tales of 30th Anniversary, the Tales of video game series, and by pure coincidence, they have this temporary museum set up, and we saw this on Twitter, and we're like, wait, that's happening during the time that we're in Japan. Again, what a stroke of fortuitous luck, because we didn't plan that. So we bought the tickets ahead of time, and Kieran printed them at the convenience store. Now, next was to find this museum. So we knew it was in this Seibu building somewhere. So we had to find it somewhere in this Seibu building. And so we went inside and we saw this. Tales of 30th Museum on the 7th and 6th floors. Perfect. And we checked, they were open on this day because there are certain days that they were closed. And they were open on this day. So we're like, okay, perfect. We just got to find it. We just got to go up to the 7th floor. Easy, right? So we go up to the 7th floor and there's nothing. There's like a bookstore. We walk around and we're like, where is it? There's like a closed off area of the floor that it looks like they use it as an exhibition center, but it was closed. We're like, well, there's no way the Tales Museum's closed, right? We couldn't tell because there were a bunch of barriers in the way, right? So we're like, wait, we went to the 7th floor, right? So maybe it's on the 6th floor because it says 7th and 6th, right? So we go down to the 6th floor, we look around, still nothing. We walk around, we're like, there's nothing here. So we look at the map and we see, oh, this building, the Seibu building, is actually 2 buildings connected together by walkways, but the walkways are not on every floor. The connecting bridges are not on every floor. So we're like, maybe it's in the other one. So we have to go down a couple floors. We take the connecting bridge over to the 2nd Seibu building. We go up to the 7th floor. Still nothing. We're like, what's happening? There's no way we found the wrong place, right? There's no way they're closed or anything. We go down to the 6th floor on the 2nd building. Still can't find it. We look at the directory, and like it still says that it's on the 7th and 6th floor. So we're like, where is this Tales Museum? We look at the map, and it turns out not only is this place 2 buildings, it's actually like 5 buildings. But one of them is just a parkade, and then the other buildings, besides the Seibu A and Seibu B, don't even have the word Seibu in the name. They're like completely named differently. They're just connected by passageways. But our tickets told us to go to the Seibu building. So we're like, so we had to like look it up, and we're like, oh, it's in this building. So it's in a different building. But that building was only connected on the ground floor. So we had to go all the way back down to the ground floor. We had to go through like a couple different buildings through some passages to finally get to the building that we needed. On the way, I saw this like really cool artwork on the side, which I thought this was Basara art, but it's just like regular Date Masamune art. I thought it was Basara art. Of course, anything like drawn with the likeness of Date Masamune is found to look similar, but I was so excited because I thought it was Basara art, and then it turns out that it was just cool art. But anyways, I took a picture of it. Yeah, Lork was too busy saying the word elevator fight all the time because he it's a running joke with elevator fights for him. So every time we took an elevator, he would mention that. So we finally get to the right building, and then we're like, okay, do we go to the 6th or the 7th floor? Well, it turns out the decision was already made for us. You cannot press the 6th floor button. It goes to the 7th floor, and it says Tales of 30th Museum. We're like, fantastic! We've finally found the place that we came here to go and check out. So we go up to the 7th floor, and bam, lo and behold, we finally make it to the Tales of 30th Anniversary Museum. So it's like a temporary museum. It's set up on the 7th and 6th floors. It's kind of rudimentary. It's just got a bunch of like partitions set up with like artwork and some stuff, but we're there. Fantastic. We bought tickets ahead of time, but turns out you can also buy tickets at the door. Great. Perfect. So they have like this big mural of all the main characters of the series. This is a picture from their website, Tales of 30th Anniversary, with a bunch of characters in special outfits. I didn't see any of these special outfits anywhere while we're there. It's just on their website, but I thought it was pretty cool. So this is also from their website. So when you go, you also get a randomized little like film strip bookmark with different uh, clips from the opening cutscenes of different games. Now the thing is, they divided the Tales of 30th Museum into Volume 1 and Volume 2. So Volume 1 was from November 28th to December 17th, and Volume 2 was from December 19th to January 12th. So we came during Volume 2. So depending on which time you go, the things available are different. So the games featured are different depending on which time frame you went. So only the Volume 2 stuff was available to us when we went. So Volume 1 is Tales of Fantasia, Eternia, Symphonia, Legendia, Dawn of the New World, Vesperia, Hearts, Zelia 2, and Arise. Volume 2 was Destiny, Destiny 2, Rebirth, Abyss, Tempest, Innocence, Graces, Zestiria, Berseria. So more of my favorite games are in Volume 1 than 2, but luckily that really didn't affect our trip, which I'll explain in a little bit. So these are also cards that you get when you purchase. It says, I think, like 30,000 yen or more each time you get a card, randomized depending on which time frame that you go to. So this is on their website again. This is a release timeline of the games. Again, here's a summary of which games are featured during Volume 1 and Volume 2, depending on the dates that you go. So we were Volume 2, which features Destiny, Destiny 2, Rebirth, Abyss, Tempest, Innocence, Graces, Zestiria, and Berseria. Oh, there was a picture of Jude and Mila here at the front. There was a big, nice plaque, Tales of Series. So we were told that you can take pictures of things in the museum except for things that had the no picture sign on them. So I have pictures from some things, but other things we weren't allowed to take pictures of. So this is the key artwork for the museum as well. I really like it. It's a bunch of box artwork with the Kless's outline on top of it. It looks pretty cool. And they also drew new key artwork for a lot of the characters here. A handful of the main characters. So there were giant like standees of them as well to greet us as we came in. This is the key artwork. So it has Asbel, Mila, Luke, Alphen, Jude, and Velvet. So this new artwork, a lot of the merch that was specific to the museum featured this artwork or these characters from this pose. Like, for example, like these poses that we just saw. So we went in, there were some things we couldn't take pictures of. There was like a timeline of the games with the boxes of the games glued to the wall. It was kind of interesting. For some games, they had multiple boxes for if the game came out on multiple consoles or if it came out as an HD remaster, and some of them they didn't have the other boxes for. It was kind of strange which ones they decided to or which ones they didn't. It was a little inconsistent. So we went in and there was like a giant display of the sword Dimlos from Tales of Destiny chained up. It looked pretty cool. There were videos playing on the side. There was like music. There was cool lighting. You could take a picture of it. It was a pretty cool display. I was quite impressed by that, actually. I didn't think they would have something like that. Then there were standees or cutouts of basically the characters that were voted as like the most popular Tales character in the most recent popularity poll. I think they had 11 slots. So there's 5 characters lined up here, and then on the other side of the wall there were the other 6 characters lined up here. So they got special artwork as well as these special cutouts since they were voted the most popular. I was happy to see Law there. I didn't know that Law was that popular. I think maybe it's just recency bias because Arise is the newest one, but of course we have like the regulars like Leon and Guy and Flynn there. So then we got to the next section, and I think we also had to take the escalator down between the previous section and this section, which is why the Tales Museum took up the 7th and the 6th floors as well, and that's why you couldn't go directly to the 6th floor. So again, these standees were only for Volume 2 games, which is why there's only standees for half of the Tales games here, but I took pictures of them. So we have Tales of Destiny, Tales of Destiny 2, Tales of Rebirth, Tales of the Abyss, and they have like, the box art and descriptions of the game. Tempest, Innocence, Asbel, or Graces, and Zestiria, and Berseria. So the nice thing is that regardless of which time frame you went, all the goods were available during both time frames. So that means that even though we were going during Volume 2, we could still buy the goods because they're the same from the Volume 1 goods, which is fantastic because, of course, I want stuff from like Zelia, for example, and Zelia was in Volume 1 and not Volume 2. So they had the standees that were from the key artwork, we can see in the top left here, and then different variations of the key artwork in like button form or like postcard form. And then they also had the standees for the characters in the top 11 poll, as well as a few more like main characters as well. So you have the key art characters, you have the main characters, and then you have the popularity characters in different forms. So and then you have like shirts and cards. A lot of these again were blind boxes. So if you got like the cards or some of the other things, they came in blind box form. They had like little towels of the mascots and stuff like that too. Again, more goods based on the same artwork. So they rearrange the artwork into different forms like cards or file folders or whatnot. Some of these are blind box. These are also these tiny little standees with like the chibi artworks were also blind box. I'm surprised they had the Legendia ones because I'm pretty sure these Legendia artworks are more of like concept art than actual like official like nice quote unquote nice art. So one thing we were worried about was them selling out. So we found a Reddit post from like early December of someone who had went to this museum, and they reported that a lot of the stuff was sold out, which I was only interested in Jude and Law stuff, and the Law standee was sold out according to the Redditor. So we were afraid of them being sold out, but we were thinking, well, if we're going during Volume 2, maybe they restock between Volume 1 and Volume 2. And lo and behold, everything was in stock except for, I think, these Tales of the Abyss blind box gacha acrylics, which was fine because I wasn't planning on buying them. So almost everything was in stock when we came, which was fantastic. Because if I went there and I wasn't able to get that limited edition Law acrylic, I'd be like, well, sucks to be me, I guess. But we didn't have that problem. Again, luck was on our side. Yeah, some more goods. So there was a big wall with like sticky notes where you can write your thanks to the Tales team and doodle some artwork. We didn't really take the time to do that because we were tired from a long day of walking around Shibuya, but there was a really cool display here. There's some of the acrylic standees and the cards. There was a little like frame book Ita bag-like thing that you could put your favorite character inside. There was like jewelry, you get like pocket watches and wristwatches based on some of the characters and stuff. They looked really fancy. They were quite expensive. They look really cool. If you ever want a pocket watch, pretty cool. They had the plushies. Again, I'm not really a plushie person. They are really cute though. More of the standees, as well as like the postcards and stuff. You can see the blind boxes at the bottom, the little packages. So, didn't want to do blind box. So this is what I got. I bought the art book, so you can get the art book for the museum as well. And the art book was quite nice. It pretty much had all the key artwork plus extra that I hadn't seen before in there, and a little bit of information written in Japanese as well. For our entry tickets, we got our randomized little film strips. So I think we got Tales of Rebirth, Tales of Destiny 2, and Tales of Graces. So Kieran got the Graces one, I got the Destiny 2, and Lort got the Rebirth one. For my randomized purchases, I got 2 randomized cards. One of them is the key artwork, which I was very happy with getting that. I thought everyone got the key artwork, but apparently, because Kieran didn't, so I was like, oh, it's random. And I got the Tales of Destiny card, so that was cool. I'm glad I got the key artwork card. It looked really cool. Of course, I bought my Jude standees. I got both of them. He, being a main character and in the key art, he got the key artwork one in the middle, and then he also got a regular one on the right. And then Law was in the top 11 favorite characters according to the popularity poll, so he got a standee as well. My acrylic standee collection grows. See, I have a bunch of Jude merch from when Zelia came out, and then I collected Jude merch for a couple years, and then I kind of stopped. So now he actually has like more stuff, and suddenly, like, he didn't have that many acrylic standees before, and suddenly my Jude acrylic standee collection has grown exponentially just by adding all these things, and you'll see later in the trip as well. For Law, I think I have a couple of his standees, but they're mostly like mini ones. I think I have his like official artwork one. I tried to find as much as I could when Arise first came up, but there actually wasn't that much Arise merch for law specifically. So I'm glad I got this one. It was very nice. So we left the Tales Museum and we still had some more of Shibuya to explore while we're here. So we continued walking around. It was nighttime by now. It was getting dark. We stopped by the Disney store and it was really cute. I loved seeing they had like Disney characters dressed in traditional Japanese outfits, especially because it was New Year's. So we had like Mickey and Minnie, like Stitch, and I don't know the name of Pink Stitch. I'm sorry. Never saw that movie. But wearing like traditional Japanese outfits, very cute. That's a common theme for a lot of these stores we went into, where they'll take like a popular character that is iconic and then put them in like Japanese specific clothing for the merch, which I thought was really nice because obviously when you go to Japan, you want to get stuff that represents Japan. Oh, her name's Angel? Well, okay, Stitch and Angel then. I did not know that. So again, more Stitch and Angel stuff. There was, oh yeah, it's Year of the Horse, so there were a bunch of like Winnie the Pooh characters dressed up as horses. It was really cute. There was Zootopia stuff as well. I like how derpy these are. They're kind of cute. Oh yeah, they also had like a promotion where you could play rock paper scissors against the employees and then like win stuff. We didn't really do it, but it was available to us. There was a giant Mickey plush on one of the floors. The store had a lot of floors, but each floor was kind of small. No, he's not on a toilet. He's on a chair. It does look like he's on a toilet now that you mention it, though. They had a little bit of Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, too. There was a Pinocchio diorama. The Nightmare Before Christmas stuff actually looked really cool. I found a little bit of Spider-Man stuff. I know, like, Disney owns Marvel, but I wasn't, like, expecting to see any Marvel stuff. This was the only Marvel stuff in the whole store. It was Spider-Man. Pretty cute. I like the Fantasia stuff. There was, like, a bathrobe and a bunch of other things, too. If you like Fantasia, that's pretty cool. Toy Story. Surprising. It seems like in Japan, what's his name? Love a Hug Bear or whatever his name is quite popular. There's quite a bit of merch for him, which I was surprised. If you know anything about him, but he had quite a bit of merch actually. There was a little Toy Story diorama in the corner of the room as well, with the Toy Story playing on the TV. These are really cute. The chip, the teacup merch. This is a really cute merch idea. I just thought these were really goofy looking. A lot of like Perry the Platypus stuff too, everywhere we went. Well, they're like bear versions of the characters. Disney Unibearsity and then Disney Unibesties. I had to take a picture of those because they were cute. Oh yeah, those like Baymax as a sumo wrestler. I thought that was really cute. There's more characters dressed up in like New Year's stuff. There were some really cool like statues on the first floor too. I think the genie one was very, very cool with how elaborate like his tail looked. Dumbo looks really good. The Stitch one's cool. I was very impressed by this. Oh yeah, on our way to the train station, we just happened to pop by. There was like a Marvel and Star Wars pop-up store. And we're like, well, sure, let's go in. It was really cool. They had like traditional Japanese artwork versions of Marvel and Star Wars characters, which I thought was really cool. I had to take a picture of the Spider-Man, obviously, going in, and there was a Darth Vader as well. Spider-Man gets so much cool merch. It's good to be a Spider-Man fan. I like the Miss Minutes socks. Again, more cool Spider-Man merch. Spider-Man gets cool merch. It's a good time to be a Spider-Man fan. The cups were cool. And all the little, like, cheapies. Spider-Ham's there, too. It's kind of funny. There are some dioramas and displays as well. Some Stormtroopers, Iron Man, Captain America. These were really cool. Like, traditional Japanese, like, artwork reformed into Star Wars and Marvel characters was such a cool idea. And again, we've seen a lot of these on our trip, but like, again, it's just so striking. And again, it screams out like this is a souvenir from Japan, but also this is a souvenir from your favorite series one. Yeah, the Darth Maul one is really cool. I think my favorite one is this one. It's Thor and Lady Thor as like Fujin and Raijin, which I thought was super clever. This one looked super cool. I had to take a picture of it. Yeah, right? It's so cool. There were some statues as well. More t-shirts again with like Star Wars drawn and like more of like a Sumi-E kind of style. The R2D2 one I think is pretty cool. Oh, there are these cute little like money pouches shaped like Chewbacca and R2D2's head and Death Star and Darth Vader. I saw these giant puzzles with Spider-Man. I really like the one on the left because it's the Insomniac Spider-Man. It looks incredible. That artwork is so cool. These were gigantic. These were gigantic. I think they were only on advanced sales. Like you couldn't just pick one up off the shelf. I think it'd be cool just to have this as a frame on the wall, like even if it wasn't a puzzle. But I'm not really a puzzle person. But it'd be cool. This would be a super cool set piece to have. They had some cool T-shirts as well. Again, lots of cool Spider-Man stuff. See a Hela shirt there. Doctor Strange. Marvel Rivals. I figured they would have rival stuff. I just wasn't sure if they would, but they had like the key artwork, and then they have the Jeff inside the giant like Iron Man Hulkbuster thing. I was like, yay, there's Jeff stuff here. Perfect. Jeff is so marketable. I know everyone's like tired of seeing him, but he's so cute. Deadpool stuff. I like this one. It's I am Groot, but he's like an avocado, and then the baby Groot. There was also a giant mural of like Star Wars as a manga on the wall, which I thought was really cool. This was near the checkout area. And then, oh, there was this one. It's like a shirt with Darth Vader, but he's pulling out his lightsaber like a EI Jutsu kind of look, and it was really cool artwork. I had to take a picture of it. There was so much cool artwork here. I'm not even that big of a Star Wars fan, but it was super cool. These were so funny. I had to take a picture of this. The funny thing is, it's hard to see here. The Death Star has little legs and a tiny face. He just has like two dots and a little line for a mouth. It's so funny. These are so cute looking. Hats. Oh yeah, I have to take a picture whenever I saw like funny cartoon like Japanese subway um infomercials. Like this one's for like, pay attention to where you're walking so you don't fall on the tracks. There were so many of these like funny train posters around. This one was really cute. So we finished in Shibuya and then we went back to Ikebukuro. Again, Ikebukuro was kind of our go-to place because it was near where we were staying. So we went back to Ikebukuro. We hadn't eaten yet, so we went back here to walk around and get something to eat. Here's some pictures. There's like, the giant Uniqlo. There's the Animate building. We had some time because we weren't super hungry yet because uh we ate brunch kind of late. So we went to the Animate building, and oh yeah, so like the Ikebukuro station is huge. There's so many exits there. Like there's at least up to 35 exits because the exit we used the most was the Sunshine City exit, which is exit 34 and 35, which means that there's at least 35 exits to the station. It's such a big station. It's no wonder that it was hard for us to meet up on day 0 here and find each other, which we knew would be the case. We knew it would be big and hard to meet up, but it was just the most convenient place for us to do so. So I had to take a picture of this to be like, yeah, this is a big place. So we went to the Animate store, and this place is huge. This place is like, what, 6 floors or something like that? Each floor has like a different thing on it, like a different type of thing, which is nice for organization purposes. It was also getting late in the day, so they were actually getting close to closing time, so we didn't want to stay too long. The first floor was like Grate, which is like like coffee art. Oh no, there's nine floors plus a basement. But the basement is a multi-purpose hall. The ninth floor and is an event space. The eighth floor is an exhibition hall. So those don't really count. We went to the top floor and worked our way down. The top floor, the exhibition this time was Nikkei, which none of us played, but it was there. So we played Nikkei, Goddess of Victory. That was there. There were like cutouts of various characters everywhere, especially like virtual idols and stuff like that too, with outfits and stuff like that. So I didn't take a picture of everything I saw. I just kind of took pictures of things that were from fandoms that I'm familiar with or things that I thought were cool. There was Pokemon stuff and there was like freaking 100 line stuff right in the middle of the Pokemon stuff for whatever reason. Of course, Kieran had to grab me and say, Kiro, look, we found 100 line. And you know my feelings about 100 line. Ace Attorney had a sizable section. These were really cute. There was like a Kieran actually bought one of these. It's like a phoenix with a little court stand, and if you open it up, there's a like an objection underneath with he's like standing on the stand. I think you're supposed to put it on your door, and then like if you open or close it to basically tell people if they're allowed to come in or not. I think at least that's what we gathered is we think is the purpose for it. I guess you could use it for many things. It's just a picture that opens up. Found some tail stuff, which is cool. These are standees I had not seen before, so obviously I had to get a Jude one. Again, my Jude acrylic standee collection grew exponentially during this trip, which is great because I like acrylic standees and I like Jude. So we found some tail stuff. I also kind of wanted one of these little tails acrylics of the chibi characters, but they were blind boxes, and I didn't want to buy an entire pack because there were like entire unopened packs in the back where you can get the whole set, but I didn't want to get all of them, so I was like, it's a waste. So I didn't get it. Square Enix section had a lot of stuff too. There was Grimoire Noir here. A lot of Final Fantasy stuff as well. Mostly FF7 stuff and some 14 stuff. A little bit of 9 stuff because 9 was celebrating its anniversary as well. We found the Dawn Trail acrylics, which we would later come to find these in many places during our trip, but here's kind of where we first saw them. The artwork for them is really nice. I think the Aaronville one, the Kryl one, the Koana one, they're all really nice. There's also like Hythlodeus and Emmet. We found out there was no Graha Dawn Trail standee because we thought that there was a lot of like empty spots and we figured that's where the Graha ones were because they're sold out. But I think in the end we found out that he doesn't have a Dawn Trail specific one. I have the Endwalker one for him, but yeah. We found Final Fantasy Tactics standees, which I thought was cool. What the weird thing I find about Tactics is that even though it just got like the remaster, they didn't release new artwork for it. These are all like the old artworks, which if you look up Final Fantasy Tactics artwork, very few of the main characters actually have like full body key artworks. Like only a couple handfuls of them. And like here, we couldn't even find Agrias. Agrias does not. She has a full body artwork, but she just didn't have one here. Kieran would later find an Agrias one in a different shop because Lorik was looking for her. But I just had to take a picture of the Derpy Luke plushie. We've seen it everywhere. I know these are pretty easy to get online too, but it just looks so funny. There was like an entire section for fighting games. They had like Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, just general SNK stuff along with the Street Fighter stuff. We found Astrobot stuff. I was so happy. I was like, oh my god, it's my boy. But alas, it was blind box. So I didn't get any. I think they're like, there's keychains and there's stickers. They're so cute. I had to take a picture of them. I like the one on the left because it has him in different forms. We have like Mouse Astrobot. We have like Balloon Astrobot. We have Sponge Astrobot. The boy. Oh yeah, I found the cosplay muscle suits, which you could tell these are like the lower grade ones, but it was just funny to see them. And some PlayStation themed coasters and stuff. I was talking to some people about this too. Like I've been following some like cosplayers online on Twitter sometimes when I see them cross my feed too many times. And there's a handful of them where like just out of curiosity, I can't tell if like they're male or female presenting normally out of cosplay, because some of them, even you can't even trust like a full bare chest sometimes. Some of them have like really good latex suits that they blend in really well with their bodies, and you look at it, you're like, those muscles look kind of fake, but they also look really real. Is that a real chest? Is that their real physique? And I can't tell. Either way, like I'll follow them because they're like really cool cosplayers and stuff. But it's just like I'm just so surprised because I remember years ago when they first started coming out with this like the muscle latex suits, it was kind of easy to tell when it was fake or when they had like a convenient like choker or armband or glove where they can hide the seams. But like some people are so good at hiding those things, it's so hard. I follow a couple like really cool Street Fighter cosplayers, and for the longest time I thought like they were male, and then one time I looked closer and I was like, is that a fake chest? Like, I think it is, but I'm also not 100% sure. So like it's just interesting to see how far like this technology's come. It's very impressive. Cosplayers, mad respect. Saw some Gundam ads. All the elevators were also decorated with Limbus Company stuff for people that like Limbus Company. I know a few people know a few friends that are quite into that. I'm not. There were of course gacha machines. I thought the One Punch Man was cute. I tried to take pictures of some fandoms I saw for people that I knew. So like I found some IDV stuff. Of course, there's Atlas stuff as well. It was nice that the game stuff was on a separate floor than the anime stuff, because I'm more interested in most of the anime stuff, or the game stuff, than the anime stuff. Quite a few Windbreaker things as well. Windbreaker is a series that I think I would enjoy. I just haven't had time to watch it. Oh, I found Full Metal Alchemist stuff with the Square Enix stuff. I was so surprised to see the Full Metal Alchemist stuff, because I love Full Metal Alchemist. I don't think I would buy merch of it, but even though it's like, widely known and, respected, it's also old and people don't really sell merch of it much anymore. So I was very happy to see like an entire shelf of it. I was devastated to see that they had the Hughes in the phone booth keychain. That is evil. That is diabolical. Speaking of which, at Comic-Con, we didn't see the cosplayer, but there was like a lot of photos going around of the Nina Chimera cosplayer with the Sho Tucker cosplayer doing like both serious and funny poses. We didn't see them though, but I saw them going around on Twitter. Found Gundam stuff, Gundam Seed stuff specifically. My boy Kira. I was very tempted to get this acrylic stand, but I decided not to. It looks like he's getting married. I know this is like anniversary stuff, but he's like here with Lacus and they're both carrying flowers. And I'm like, I don't really want a standee of him getting married at a wedding. I don't know. I would like a standee of him wearing like one of his default outfits. So I had to hold myself back from buying this, but I thought they were cool. We have more Gundam stuff. There was another standee of him wearing this casual outfit, but I'm not really a fan of this outfit specifically. Plus, I also feel like I don't actually own any Kira Yamato merch, but I feel like it's a slippery slope. If I start buying one, then suddenly I want all of it. And I really only have like a couple characters I actually buy merch of normally. So I don't want to add to that, because then it means I have to buy more stuff, right? So I had to hold myself back. Plus, I mostly collect game stuff, not so much anime stuff. We found this ad for the Tales series. We saw more of these ads around the city as we explored, of the Tales characters wearing like idol outfits. But I never saw like the full set of these all together at once at any time. So we saw Luger and Saray here for some reason, but no one else. There was some cute Naruto cat merch. So it's a whole section for Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, there was an idol Jude. I didn't find a full ad of it, but I saw it on a moving screen at one point, so I couldn't take a picture of it. Demon Slayer. I was surprised how small the Fate Grand Order section was. I was expecting a bigger section, to be honest. Blood Blockade Battlefront even had a section. A little bit of D Gray Man there too, which is nice to see. Not too much though. I was surprised to see Helios Rising stuff as well. I mean, I wasn't surprised to see it. I was just surprised that there was like enough to fill up one rack. Vocaloid stuff. Of course, there was an entire section for Hoyo stuff, like Genshin, Honkai, Zenless Zone Zero. There was also a Withering Waves section as well. There was an Alien stage section. I was surprised about that too. So We looked around the Animate store, but then it was getting close to closing time, so we had to leave. This is a picture of the Animate store again from the outside. Yeah, pretty big. So here's my haul. I got the Jude acrylic, of course. I also got this little pack of like little postcards with the characters with their like mystic art. So I was like, well, it's Jude. It's flat. It's cheap. Might as well get it. I also saw this like Street Fighter pack of like the birthday art for all the characters. I was really hesitant on whether I wanted to get it because I'm like, I can look at this art. It's on the Street Fighter wiki. But I don't know. The Luke art is really nice. And I was like, well, it's flat and cheap. So I ended up getting it. Why am I buying all this Luke merch? I need to play more Street Fighter. I need to get better at Street Fighter. I keep telling myself I should, but it's just such a big time commitment. I have more like I think Luke might be like the third or fourth character I have the most merch of now, just by having like 3 or 4 things by virtue of being one of the few things I have merch of. Especially after this trip. Oh yeah, here's all my Jude standees from the trip put together now. So 2 from the Tales Museum, 1 from the Animate. Did I get any Bizarre merch? No, but I took pictures of a lot of it. So earlier in the stream, I took pictures of the Capcom store Bizarre merch, and then later we'll look at the Capcom Museum. They didn't really get that much merch though, and honestly the merch wasn't very exciting, so I didn't get it. So we went to Torikizoku, which is a izakaya, for dinner. This is one of the places that Kieran recommended as well. This is a chain, so there's actually multiple of them around. We just went to the one that was convenient to us. It was nice because cheap food and open late. What more can you ask for? So pretty tight space, like a lot of the places we went to. Places to hang your coats, though. Order on the iPad, very nice. Not really in English, but like there's pictures, so it was nice. Plus, Kieran's been here before, which is awesome. So we start ordering. Kieran recommended these drinks to us. These are the lemon sours. They were pretty good. They tasted like 7-Up with alcohol. And I don't really drink alcohol that much. But like these were pretty like light. But the second I drank them, like I could tell there was alcohol in them. Like I already feel like a little bit of a buzz. And the reason why I mention that is because I'm going to talk about another drink later for comparison. But lemon sour was good. I'm not super into carbonated drinks though. So, and also we got like the mega size one, so it was a lot. But I liked it. It was good. As far as alcohol goes, it was good. I don't really drink that much alcohol. Fried chicken. Fried chicken was good. Can't go wrong with fried chicken. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'll talk about that later on a later stream. It's edamame, some french fries. There's a lot of skewers that we got. You'll see the edamame in a lot of pictures because they gave us a lot, so it took us a while to go through it. More skewers, and everything was like super cheap. So we just kept ordering more and more and more and more. The tokatsu was really good. I think it was mostly just because they had like really good like unagi sauce on it. Plus it came with like a little like soft-boiled egg that you could wash it in, which was really nice. More skewers with cheese. We had so much meat that day. It was fantastic. Got some rice as well. Got some, I don't even remember what this is. It's like a porridge thing. It was good though. So I wanted another drink, but I didn't want another lemon sour. So we were looking at the drinks, and then a bunch of the drinks were cassis. We're like, what's cassis? We hadn't heard of this before. So we looked it up. It's like a blackcurrant from France, mostly, but you can get it in other places. But it seems like everywhere we went in Japan, it was one of the options, so it was quite common. So I got the cassis milk in this case. So it was like different types of cassis. So it was like cassis milk, cassis orange, cassis peach, cassis whatever. So I got the cassis milk. It was really good. I'm not usually like a blackcurrant person. The grape flavor is like a hit or miss. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. This was really good. And again, I don't drink that much. When I drink something, I can usually immediately tell that there's a little bit of alcohol, or I get a little bit of a buzz, or I can feel like the alcohol. But this thing, I drank it and I felt nothing. Like there was no indication there was alcohol in it. I was like, ooh, this is nice. I could just drink it. It's like fun juice. I just drink it and it's fun and it tastes good. I don't have to worry about alcohol. But literally, like I felt nothing after drinking this. I was very surprised because, like, again, I don't drink much, so I don't know if I'm a light drinker I'm gonna guess that I am just because of lack of experience, but I felt nothing after drinking this, and it was delicious. So, Cassis, I was like, is this gonna be my new favorite drink? Oh yeah, it was like this thing was a yam thing on the left. Yeah, it was like a yam thing. It was good. Grated yam. More skewers. Oh, and that was the end of day 2. That was the end of day 2. We ate a lot of food. It was great.